What's up guys, my name is Ace, and a huge update as well as the Shock and Awe event is now here for CoD WW2. And today I'm going to be breaking down the two new weapons that were added with this, the M81 LMG and the M-38 SMG. There was a bunch of other things that were added. I'm going to be covering this in other videos as we go on throughout the week because there's just so much stuff that was added and changed with this update. A lot of really good things, by the way. But today we're just going to be focusing on the basic stats of these weapons. Like always, I will have my really detailed gun guides coming for these throughout the week, so if you guys aren't subscribed yet, make sure you do that. This is where I break down every single little detail of these guns, but for today, I'm just going to share the basic stats for you so you get a general indication of what they're like. Let's start it with the MG81. This is an LMG, and the fire rate that I was able to hand test is roughly 495 rounds per minute. It takes 3 shots to kill at any range you're going to be finding in this game. Its aim down sight time is standard for LMGs at 300 milliseconds, and it appears the Sprintout time is the same. Our recoil we'll have a look at right here, and as you can see, it's got a very good recoil pattern. It does kick a little bit within a very contained area, so very accurate LMG. It's not going to get out of hand for you at all. And I would say this is most similar to the Lewis, although the Lewis does have a slightly faster fire rate and therefore a better time to kill. So the MG81 in my mind is a slightly worse version of the Lewis, although for some people they might prefer the feel of the recoil. It doesn't really kick vertically like the Lewis, but it does have a little bit more side-to-side sway within a smaller area. Now, one more thing that I noticed that appears to be kind of bugged out with this is you actually get a 60-round magazine in practice, even though in the menus it says it's supposed to have a 50-round magazine. I couldn't quite figure out what was going on here. I wasn't using extended mags or anything, but I was getting 60 rounds in a mag, so that's one big upside over the Lewis. If you wanted to craft this with armory credits by completing the collection in the quartermaster area, it'll cost you a total of 18,025 armory credits. So not too bad, although I would probably hold off unless you just can't wait, because they have revamped the entire supply drop and order and contract system, and it's very likely there's going to be a way to earn this directly for free without spending a bunch of armory credits. And since it's essentially a slightly worse version of the Lewis, I think a lot of people won't mind just holding off on this one. Moving on to the new SMG, this is the M-38, which is based off of the MAS-38. It's got a pretty ugly iron sight, as you can see here. Our rate of fire is roughly 695 rounds per minute. Again, this is a hand-tested value. We'll get those hard stats out for you as soon as possible. It's going to take 4 to 6 shots to kill, and the 4-shot kill range is pretty decent. It's about 20 meters, which is quite good for SMGs. And it's in the faster category for aim down sight and sprint out time at 160 milliseconds for both of those values. Our recoil properties kind of look bad. It's got a lot of extreme vertical recoil. However, it's very predictable and controllable recoil. So in practice, it's actually a lot easier to use than it might look here. It doesn't really sway side to side at all. It's not unpredictable by any means. And essentially, if you just pull down on that right analog stick, you should be staying on target pretty well, at least out to like medium ranges. This gun is most comparable to the MP40 when it comes to rate of fire, although keep in mind the MP40 does have a very small 3-shot kill potential that this gun doesn't have, but at the same time, this gun I feel is a lot easier to control and predict with that recoil because the MP40 can sometimes sway to the right, and this gun won't do that with you. In addition to that, the M38 appears to have a longer 4-shot kill potential than the MP40, so there are definitely some upsides to that. And realistically, just based on feel alone, I would more so compare this to the Type 100. It has a slightly faster fire rate and therefore time to kill compared to the Type 100. Its recoil is very controllable, even though the Type 100 doesn't kick vertically like this. It's still a very controllable recoil, just like the Type 100, and it's got similar range properties to the Type 100 as well. This one, if you wanted to get through the collections and you have none of the items already in that collection, is going to cost you 21,575 armory credits, so a little bit more than the MG81, but still a relatively reasonable price in my mind. And out of the two guns that were added, I would definitely recommend this over the MG81. I'm really liking this SMG so far. Not a fan of the iron sights, but that's okay. I can kind of get around that a little bit. And personally, so far, I feel like it's a pretty solid SMG. Having said that, once again, if you're not particularly excited about this, I would say hold off at least for a few days to figure out what's going on with special orders and contracts and all that kind of stuff, because we don't know exactly what they're doing with it and how it's going to be organized. But if you're just chomping at the bit to try out one of the new weapons, I would definitely go with the M-38 SMG. And with that, we're going to wrap up today's video. I'd like to know in the comment section below, first off, have you been able to get your hands on either of these new weapons yet? And if so, what do you think of them? And if not, which one of these appeals to you more, the LMG or the SMG? If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.